Congratulations on the purchase of your Pro Sender Widener. Boy, this has been a long time in the making. This project has been going on for well over a year and a half. There's been 8 iterations of this product to just get it perfect for the golfer. We wanted to create something that really helped create amazing structure for setup and rotation and creating width, not only in the backswing, but in the downswing. So many people get narrow, make their circle smaller. This product is really the answer to that.
Yeah, and in line with the Pro Sender products to this point, in the principles that the hands and arms have so much to do in the influence of the swing, the beauty about getting into the Widener and feeling it from the setup all the way through the backswing is that it really also teaches the body how it has to help out and support. So ultimately what we're looking for and what we see with pro golfers is we see a lot of stiffness on the outside with a lot of slack in the pivot. And so it's very hard for people to be able to get that feel without feedback. And if you look at the difference between a world-class player and an amateur player, outside of the fact that they work way harder at it, is difference in the circle is pros are wider and amateurs are more narrow. So, you know, one of the things that's really imperative is that not only is it helping with direction, but it's helping with contact. And, you know, that's really imperative in shooting better scores.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before you pull the Widener out of the box and get right to it on the range, it's very important for you to thoroughly go through these protocols. The first thing you're going to do before you even get to the protocols is scan the QR code inside the box and register your product on our website. That page leads you to where you are today, so hopefully you've already done that, but be sure to register your product so that we can service you in the future and you have access to our other promotions and our other great products that are on our website. That being said, we're going to move right into protocol 1. First, we're putting the product on. It goes under your trail armpit, snug up under your trail armpit, and then you're going to slide your lead hand through the wristband, and then you're going to tighten the forearm strap. Now, depending on the length of your arm, this might be right at your wrist joint, or it might be as high as just below the elbow. It just depends on the length of your arm. It works in all places. And we designed this product to have a little bit of give. We want the cradle to be able to move and shift in and out of your armpit during the swing because A, we don't want it to hurt you, and we want it to feel as natural as possible. You may also experience a little bit of movement of the forearm cradle moving during your swing. That's totally fine. It's attached, it's not going to fall off, but again, we want it to feel as natural as possible. There's a lot of movement in the golf swing. We want to make sure that it's pliable and works with you.
Yes.
So now that I've got the product on and I address the golf ball, you can see how the curve of the center bar allows for the external rotation of my trail forearm so it feels comfortable at address. So you're going to feel like the inside of your right forearm sits right in here against the cradle. Setting up at a address position, you're going to feel very structured. We're creating a bit of a triangle between your arms, shoulders, and the product. So as I said in here, I feel very strong and structured, Sean.
And this is something that, you know, kind of ended up happening for free is as we kept developing it and then put the curve into it so that that right arm could fit in there, shoulder external and right forearm in rotation. It just ended up creating the perfect setup. And the thing about golf versus other sports is a second baseman doesn't really have time to stand a certain way. But in golf, because we're always going to be hitting a shot from a still static point, the idea of being able to get into a great setup and being able to feel that and being able to repeat it is huge, because from the time you set up to the time you finish your backswing is a time frame that's so short that we know the setup is having an influence on how we build these good positions in the backswing. And, you know, where this is positioned so well is that a lot of people have different ideas on the golf swing, but me personally, I think golf to a large extent is a backswing game, because as soon as we get to the top, we have 2/100ths of a second to get to the bottom. And the only real changes that a golfer can make in that time is going to be of how they have to manipulate their body to get the club to land well.
Exactly.
So the idea of listening to the pros talk about their grip and their ball position and their posture and their stance, these are things that when we're out on the PGA Tour, we don't miss those types of ideas. So I think this is going to really help the amateur recognize the importance of it. And the beauty is once you get in there, just the whole structure and how it's put, you can see that the hips have moved slightly forward, and then there's a little bit of side bend to suit it. So I think that people are going to really, really be impressed with how much it gets them to understand what it actually feels like to stand over the ball.
Absolutely. So in protocol 1 here, we want you to really work on feeling structure over the golf ball, getting the shoulder cradle, the underarm shoulder cradle up in your armpit, a good solid connection to the lead wrist, setting up over the golf ball, and just feeling that structure where you start with the club parallel to the ground and just tilt down till that ball is next to the club head. And then from there, we're going to work on our takeaway. So in protocol 1, we're getting you to feel comfortable in setup. And then I want you to work to what we call position 2, which is right like that. So you're going to feel like this whole triangle just whisks away. I'm not taking the club away with my hands. This whole connection between the product, your arms, your shoulders, everything's just a nice tilt and turn away.
And you know, there's some different theories for people. So if you set up again and do the same thing, but add some wrist hinge as you do it, we have that as well.
Yep.
But if you look at a lot of greats of the game, when they take it back at that point, there really isn't a lot of this going on at that point as well, because what we need to do is get the hands to influence how all of this is going to move.
Yeah,
so
you should almost feel it in your back. Feel like the middle of your spine is just pivoting away. The longer, wider takeaway, and I 100% agree with you, Sean. We can have a little set angle here. I would probably prefer in this first part, just really feeling like that triangle goes, getting people, because of all the people that I coach, and I'm sure same for you, the tendency to snatch it away with the hands. Mm-hmm. I think really, you know, if you're one of those people, this is really going to help you feel like it's more of a one-piece takeaway.
Yeah, and that's kind of the idea. We're trying to manage the weight of the club, right? And so that club always wants to get back in line. So if it works too inside on the takeaway, which is what we see with most amateurs, then they have to get it back in front of them, and that we refer to as obviously over the top.
So I want you to get into your setup position. I've got just a 50-degree wedge in my hand. We're just going to start with something small. We're not going to hit any shots yet. And in protocol 1, we're working on shaft parallel to the ground, bowing to the golf ball, and feeling that one-piece takeaway for that first feel here. We're not hitting any shots yet. I want you to do about 15 of these, just feeling that width before you go to protocol 2.